Understand something. Plain and simple. To me, Abigail was a delicious poison. An intoxicating, overwhelming poison. Yowie wowie! That felt good! Yowie wowie. Let me in.
Well, someone called it. Not gonna say who. I'll just tell you who. And I'll give you a hint. It's not the two guys. So, obviously, we are.
Yellow. That's weird.
That's fine. We're back with another episode of Abby's Window post brawl. We had to come back. So you know what? I'm not gonna talk very much. Joe is joining us this evening.
Hi, Joe.
I'm just gonna turn the show over, and you go ahead and you take your lap. You take your moment in the
I mean, you know, it would be really nice to think that wasn't the plan all along, and maybe give somebody an idea, but I doubt it. I don't know why I'm yellow. I'm sorry. It was super exciting. I was holding one of Logan's toys, and as soon as he showed up on that swing, I threw it across the room. I was like, I called it. Literally, we've been talking about that for
a while.
2 months.
Yeah.
I was thinking that, you know, obviously I was kind of right. I was kind of saying, no, maybe it'll be Funhouse Bray or, you know, or the Fiend. I wasn't totally sure. I was kind of leaning more towards Funhouse Bray, but I'm okay with it being the Fiend. It was pretty damn awesome. How amazing did Alexa Bliss do? I mean, can we just talk about that for a minute?
She was great. Joe, what were your thoughts on Alexa?
I love all the different expressions that she does now. I tried to get as many camera shots as I could. And there was one where she was smiling, reminding me of Steph. She had a smile on like Stephanie McMahon used to have with the then, you know, right away it's almost like she goes through a range of emotion. She'll get angry, then she'll get happy, and then she'll be like an evil kind of a presence. The makeup is getting thicker. She has purple lines around her eyes now. And obviously she gave I love the little history about the box. And how she talked about how that history was, you know, the history of that box was, which was cool. Kind of led even more into what the theories were that people were talking about that. But yeah, it looks really to me now that, you know, and whether we're going to like this or not, that I don't know that we're going to see Bray for a little bit, because it looks as if she can summon the Fiend now. That you know, if that box, and the only thing you got to hope with that is hope that Randy doesn't realize that that's the case, because if Randy gets a hold of that box and destroys it, what is she going to do if that's the case? If that's how she brings the Fiend in? That's just some of the things I was thinking. But Alexa's been amazing. Alexa's absolutely been amazing.
She absolutely has been killing it. I love her changes in expression. Sorry, I'm trying to make myself not yellow. That's better. I'm not yellow anymore. I don't look like a Simpson. Yeah, she was. I mean, she killed that entire promo. The eyes. I mean, I was scared there for a minute. I was like, oh my gosh, she looks terrifying. Like some of those expressions, you were just like, wow. It was insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool, and I like how you keep getting more views of Bray's costume too. You could see. I tried to put the picture up behind me, but you can see. You can get this little bit more definition. The one side looked a little more bloody-ish, like red on the one side. So the different lighting, you can tell, like really lets you see what that costume looks like. Apparently, the Legend Killer is gonna die.
He's gonna die.
Oh, Jody, Eric Travis is saying that Bray just posted.
Uh-oh. We got breaking news.
Let us know if we need to show that breaking news graphic.
The last tweet I saw was the one about Brody.
Oh, yeah, it's the same one. Eric, I wonder if you missed that before.
Yeah.
Eric might have missed it before because it's the one about Brody Lee. Yeah.
So I thought
thank you, Bray, for the breaking news earlier.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving us something to talk about this evening.
My bad, Eric. This whole thing with Alexa, she's starting to. We talked about it earlier, but she's starting to resemble Abby the Witch.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, Jody?
While I know that she's in here, I want to give a shout out to I'm gonna butcher her name, Nicole. I'm just gonna say Nicole F. She does artwork on Twitter. She's fantastic, and I just ordered one of her pieces of Bray art. So I just want to say thank you, and thank you for joining us because I saw you comment earlier. So thank you, Nicole, because I'm super excited about that. So
awesome.
Yeah. I forgot what you asked. I'm sorry. There she goes.
Yeah, there she is.
I totally just spaced out.
It's okay. Just about how Alexa is starting to really look like Abby the Witch.
She is. And I know we talked earlier about her kind of starting to resemble Abby with the makeup and the eyes. And it kind of made me think earlier. Remember how we kind of always thought that Abby was the dominating voice in Bray's head, in Leader Bray's head, and then they got separated. Mm-hmm. Maybe now Alexa portraying Abby is the voice in the Fiend's head. Because she has the box. And I think the box has the ability to summon him. So I kind of feel like she's the one in control at this point. We always kind of toyed with who's the puppet master, who's the puppet, and who's the puppet master. And I think that she might be the puppet master now.
How do you feel about that, though? I mean, after so long of him being kind of in control himself, and then now it's seemingly Alexa pulling the strings.
I kind of like it. Do you remember when Cult Leader Bray with the Wyatt family, with Brody, rest in peace, Brody, and with Rowan, he used to whisper in their ears.
Yep.
To say things to him, and you didn't really know what he was saying. You didn't really know what Cult Leader Bray was saying, but he was seemingly, telling him what to do. And I think maybe that could be kind of a sweet tribute, I guess. For Alexa to be that whisper in his ear and kind of give that nod to the Wyatt family and how Bray was with them, for her to be like, I go after this person now.
Yeah. Deanna is saying, but for him to regain his form, Alexa has to be in control for now. I think that is a great point. Joe, what do you think about that? I mean, I know you sent me those photos, and definitely you can see the similarities.
Yeah, well, like I was saying earlier, the eye makeup got me. It's the small details. I think that that make the difference. And it's been a transitional change for her where it doesn't happen all at once. You're not seeing a change every single week. You may not see, big changes, but if you really look, what we saw at Fastlane when you saw the white face, and now you're seeing the different lines around her eyes. Now you're seeing the more defined purple. And look, I don't think she's going to come out with puppet things down her mouth. I don't think that that's going to happen. But if she is being possessed by an entity, and I heard you guys talking about this earlier, or, a demon of some kind, you're going to take on characteristics of that thing that's possessing you. And I think that maybe that, look, this ultimately the end game here of this story has to take on something from Abby because of what Randy did. And it just makes sense. So there has to be some sort of revenge coming from someone. And right now, like I was saying earlier, it looks as if, yes, Bray, of course, has a revenge factor on Randy, but Abby probably might have more a revenge factor on Randy than he does. So if she's pulling the strings of the Fiend now, it almost looks as if the revenge is coming more from her. So it's interesting. It really is. It's really interesting. And we're going to see, I don't know. Everybody's saying that this ends at Mania. I don't know. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure anymore. It might not. You got Mania and then you have SummerSlam, which isn't that far after, but some people are saying, oh, well, it needs to be over. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't count on that. It may not be. But we'll see. But it's interesting. It's really interesting in the changes that you see subtly all the time. And maybe at Mania is when you see more and you get a full whatever she's going to be. If I see the red lipstick, I'm going to mark out, because if you see the blood red lips on her, then that's pretty much it, because right now she doesn't have that yet. So you see that on her, then yeah.
I'm going to add to that. Think about that dynamic for a second. If Alexa is now controlling the Fiend for the time being, and kind of what you talked about this being Abby's revenge, maybe she's using Alexa for this period of time to get her revenge on Randy by being able to control the Fiend and what he does. She was the one that brought him back. Maybe Abby was the one that needed to bring him back. And now if she's kind of pulling the strings of the Fiend, she's getting her revenge on Randy for what he did to her by using the Fiend to do it. So not necessarily that Alexa's always going to be portraying Abby in this way, but for this particular feud, with Abby being such a big part of this feud, she had to come out of her window, so to speak.
Yeah. Think about it too. What got me today was those shirts, the moth. The moth to the flame thing that Alexa brought up months and months and months and months ago when he first, gave her the mandible claw. Now, now you're seeing that moth attributed to him. So has the role reversed, and is she now the flame and he's the moth that's attracted to the flame? So that's really what fascinates me now here is how much of Bray Wyatt is left in the Fiend right now. That's what really fascinates me, because if he's just a controlled monster, almost like a Frankenstein kind of a thing, where he's just going to do kind of what her bidding is, and whether that's Abby or whoever, it's fascinating because she is just, it looks as if she's just controlling him. So how much of him is there, and is he going to have to build back up in order to fight back out of this? You think about it like and I love comparing this to like multiple personality things. We always talk about Split, but if that other personality is buried so deep and trying to fight back out, then that's what a lot of it could be, is that she just is controlling that other personality, and the other part of Bray right now is just buried. It's buried under all of that melted flesh and so it's just fascinating to me. It really is. It really is.
I know we talked about this earlier, but Jodie, do you think we see Funhouse Bray anytime soon? I know someone asked it earlier in the chat.
I definitely think we see him again at some point, but if we're kind of going down this theory of regeneration, I don't, kind of like Joe said, he's buried so deep in there right now that I think we won't see him until, he's done some healing a little bit. And, I'm not saying that Abigail is possessing Alexa. I'm just saying she could be using her at this point in time. We've seen Alexa portray Abby before. I'm not saying that she's possessed by her or anything like that. She's just definitely, it could be an option that she's using her, to try to get to Randy at this point. It's just a theory, everybody's kind of entitled to them. And obviously we've heard Kyle say before that, Abby, Alexa's not Abby, and I fully still stand by that. 100%. I definitely would trust what Kyle says, but I definitely think Abby's going to come into this feud at some point as well. But it's getting deeper every which way you turn, and I definitely think we could see Funhouse Bray come back once there's been some kind of regeneration. And we've seen a character get buried within the Fiend before when he had that swamp match with Braun Strowman. We saw Cult Leader Bray come back, and he even mentioned that I was in this dark place where I saw everything happening to my body and had no ability to control it, and I'm not going back there. So we've kind of heard him talk about that before, about this multiple personality and them only one being present at a time. And, maybe we're seeing Alexa start to do that as well, that she's got multiple personalities as well, and only one's present at a time. And maybe she's drawing inspiration from Abby.
Which would be very, very interesting. I mean, I think sometimes people get hung up on the possession from Abby. She can hop from host to host. It's not like she needs to just completely take over one person. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, again, I think that I agree with Jodie. I don't think we're going to see so many people got hung up on a manifestation of Abby. So many people got hung up on, you're going to see, whatever Abby looked like, you're going to see her completely come back. I don't think that's what's going to happen here. And I think it's just an embodiment of an entity that was, that was done wrong by Randy. And whenever you do wrong to an entity in a horror movie, it's going to come back to haunt you. And that's just how it goes. I want to point out one thing though, and because I can't get over the picture. That suit looks so uncomfortably freaking hot. Yeah. Like, look at the padding on that damn thing. And that's why I said, like, I don't see that this, I mean, if you people, you guys all think that this is going to be the final way he's going to look, that to me right there points out that I don't think so, because you look at like how his hand is in, with the burns on it and stuff, and look at the padding on that suit. I just don't think that he's going to be able to function too well in that for a long term. So
yeah, imagine that outside at WrestleMania in Florida in April. He's going to be like, he's going to lose 10 pounds.
He's literally got to have fans or something going on in there,
ice
like
packs
some kind
or something.
Oh, man. He lost all of that weight so he could put like a mini AC in there. That's what this is. I mean,
man, dude. That it's so like it's so packed up. You can even see like the chest piece, the shoulders, like the it's just all packed in there and stuff like that. So yeah,
I will give a little insight. So in a past life, I used to work at Build-A-Bear Workshop, and I used to dress up as the bunny. We used to have kind of like those Mickey Mouse suits or whatever. And it was so dang hot. I could only be in it for about half an hour at the most. And that was I had a vest made out of ice packs that I wore underneath it. So I could definitely see him maybe doing something like that. But even with, a cooling vest on, you can't be in that for more than half an hour because you literally just sweat. You're going to overheat. So, and it looks like to me those hands are probably made out of rubber.
Prosthetics.
Prosthetics, and that stuff is incredibly hot.
Yeah, you go and watch any documentary, and I've seen a lot on Kane Hodder, who plays Jason. They can't, they act in that makeup all day long and do stunts and stuff like that. But man, by the time that's an 8-hour process a lot of the times to even put that on. So, and then when they're done, it's another 8 hours or 7 hours or whatever it is to take it back off. And then, when you're underneath there, he has said already on sets, when he's acting, you lose so much weight in water weight. And I can't see that they would do that to him a lot. So I don't know how much you're going to really see him wrestle in this outfit. I just don't know. I mean, you could have him do a couple moves here and there and things like that, but I don't know. So I for all of those that are wondering whether or not this is going to be the final form, I don't think so. I don't know whether he'll heal into the original form again or whether it'll be a different form altogether. But I just can't help but think that this isn't going to be the final way we're going to see him come back. So.
I could see the mask kind of staying the same or similar, but regenerating in terms of being able to lose some of the bulk on his arms.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So another question here, Jodie. What if Abigail was meant to be with Bliss? What if she was always meant to be with her? I'm guessing is what the boys is the question that they're posing.
I don't know that she was meant to be with Bliss because I don't really see them together. I kind of, like I said, I don't really think it's not a possession thing. I don't think that Alexa's Abigail or Abigail's Alexa. I just think that, the Fiend has this ability to have multiple personalities, and, Alexa's portraying one of them. And it could be that, he wants her to appear like Abby to get back at Randy. Because, like I said, she did that with Braun. She portrayed Abby to mess with Braun's head. So I don't necessarily think that they were meant to be together. I think Abigail and Alexa are always going to be separate entities. I just think that, she might be channeling her inner witch.
Which is interesting because what did they copyright way back when? And we were like, I wonder why they're doing that.
Witch.
So, yeah. And, it just so happens that there was a really, really good drawing by Kyle of a witch.
Of a witch that Joe probably would hate if it came to life.
You know what? If I see that damn unholy commercial trailer one more freaking time over the last 2 days, I must have seen it 15 times. I'm like, enough. I can't deal. I can't deal.
Yeah, I've seen it quite a few times. So
I'm gonna stick with what we've always said, that nobody's going to be Sister Abigail. I don't think it's ever going to happen. I know everybody has been begging for that for well, since she was first mentioned, everybody wanted this personification of Abigail. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. I think she's channeling that dark part of herself to mess with Randy Orton. And I love what Rusty just said, that the suit is the cocoon.
Yeah.
Yep.
I dig it.
Yep.
Vincent Valentine saying maybe Abigail is possessing Alexa and punishing Randy for burning the Wyatt compound.
Yeah, I don't see it as a possession. I just don't. I think that it's a mind game. And if Alexa can portray something like that to mess with Randy, she will. She can make him think that she's Abigail. You get what I mean? Not necessarily possession, but she'll make Randy think she is. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It's just all like there's just so many layers, so many things that we could sit here for probably 2 hours and analyze everything that we just saw.
And he speaks again.
Oh, well, okay. So let me put up the graphic real quick. We have breaking news. All right.
Sam Roberts tweeted at Bray and said, if Lil Nas isn't performing Bray Wyatt's WrestleMania entrance, we messed up. And Bray replied and tagged Code Orange and said, I already got a band.
Oh, yeah, I saw it. So they're probably going to be live there, I would bet you. Because that's what they were going to do, I think, earlier. You might be seeing a lot of what he had planned before COVID happened. Whether it's going to be that truck that's going to come down to the ring and Code Orange is going to play him in, but you're probably going to see a lot of what they had planned. It seems like, and even in the other storylines with Drew and Bobby and stuff like that, it really kind of seems like they're going to give these guys their Mania moments that they were supposed to have last year, especially now that they're going to have fans and stuff inside the building. But my biggest takeaway seriously from tonight was the Legend Killer is going to die. That was my biggest takeaway from what she said, because she didn't say Randy Orton. She said the Legend Killer is going to die.
Correct.
So that personality is going to go away in one way, shape, or form. So whatever he's going to do, whether it's just going to be the mandible claw that will change him like it's done with so many others, or whether they've got something even more sinister in store, that personality of Randy is going to go. And then when he comes back, he's going to be someone different. So that's what I took away from it. How they're going to do it, I have no idea, but it's going to be fun to watch.
So did we just get confirmation that Code Orange is doing his entrance live?
That Code Orange is doing what?
Maybe.
God, how amazing is that going to be?
Yeah, goodness gracious. If
they did it live.
Maybe Code Orange will be on the monster truck.
That'd be brilliant.
They'll have them on the truck. Could you imagine if they designed?
If they were playing on a monster truck.
Could you imagine if they designed a monster truck with the big Fiend face, like on the very front of the truck, and it came down? Oh, merchandise everywhere. They'll be selling Fiend monster trucks, merchandise all over the place.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
Oh man.
But this story is so exciting. It's deep. It's always leaves you guessing and questioning, and he just keeps us on our toes. That's what he's at.
Go ahead, Joe.
Wasn't Little Nas the one too? I think it was. He was in the news today actually, because he just came out with sneakers that apparently have a drop of human blood in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I read that.
Say what?
Yeah, so it was weird. Like when I got on Twitter this morning, the first thing I saw was that Madonna and Little Nas were both trending, and Madonna and him, and then they were talking about Madonna and Satanism, because apparently Little Nas did a recent video where
he gave the devil a lap.
Yeah, and now he's got these shoes out, and he's talking about Satan, and he has a drop of human blood in every
Is that
shoe.
the Nike shoes?
Yep.
Yes.
I read today that Nike's actually suing him over that.
I don't know if they're Nike. I can't remember. All I know is they're black and red, but anyway. But yeah, okay. So I guess
read today that Nike was actually suing him for that.
Everybody was thinking it was the 80s because Satanism and Madonna were trending on Twitter, which is kind of funny. Madonna, because she posed like in very skimpy clothing at 62 years old. But hey, you know what?
Hey,
if you look that damn good at 62, why the hell not?
Right.
Why the hell not?
Why not?
Good for her.
Go for it.
Nike is suing him. Yes, says Rusty.
That's what
okay.
I thought, because
Well,
I
there you
remember Chris read it to me earlier. He said something about him getting sued by Nike because it wasn't something that they designed. He took a shoe from like the 90s, a Nike shoe, and kind of made it his own. And I think they're suing him for copyright infringement.
Nike suing him. The Code Orange performing on the pirate ship. That would be cool too.
Ooh.
I could deal with that.
Cool.
That would be cool.
I would totally be down with that. Totally.
Vincent asking, does the Fiend maybe steal Orton's life essence and become whole again?
Yeah, that could be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be. That could be. Well, we only have one. We only have what? One more Raw.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And next week's the one that we're doing Raw live then.
Yep.
Next week's our live watch along Raw. Wow, I can't believe it's already that time. That's crazy. It's whatever. Man, whatever's coming up. It's like Jodie said, it's going to be crazy. It's just going to be absolutely crazy, and it's great because they're not really giving anything away. Like they're not, by now, maybe in the past, you might have kind of heard what kind of match it was going to be. They might have mentioned it already, and there's nothing. They're not saying anything other than the two of them are wrestling. So, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's really crazy.
So let's get some guesses on what the stipulation's going to be.
Man, it's really tough. Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be with that whole theory that I have with that costume. I think it's got to be sort of cinematic. I don't think it can be a match because I don't think he can wrestle in that for a very long time. So he can kind of stand there and move around slow and just kind of look like Jason, where you can't do anything to him, and Randy can put him down and do whatever he wants to do, and he's just going to pop back up again. So he can do that. But I don't think he can really wrestle in that for a long time. So I think it has to be some sort of cinematic thing. But like you had said earlier, they have to kind of reward the fans who came too. So they would have to end up back in that ring somehow or in that area somehow. I don't know. Big Boy Dally says 3 stages of hell. Could be 12. Could be 12 layers of hell.
9, 12, 11, 19.
I have no idea. I mean, they've got the thing is in that stadium, they've got that whole back ring to work with too. That one that they showed us the one time when Big E and Apollo were racing around back there, and you saw that whole backstage area where they have the second ring and everything, kind of hidden from the other. There's a lot of ways they can mess around, but I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. I really don't, which is cool.
I think we get them starting in the ring, then going to the back, and then finishing in the ring. I think we'll get a cinematic element in the middle of the match because I think that's where we'll see some type of transformation or something big happen. What about you, Tony?
I don't know. The whole thing with fans being there, just I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I obviously they've done partially cinematic matches before with fans. Especially with the House of Horrors match, and so I could definitely see him doing something like that where it's partially cinematic. Obviously with that portion maybe being pre-recorded. But I think the time that they spend in the ring will be very short. For the same reasons that you said. It's Florida, it's April, it's outside. He's wearing a lot of layers. Can't be easy to move in, can't be easy to wrestle in. I applaud him for that because I couldn't imagine trying to wrestle in all of that. That would just be, you just overheat, and I can't imagine it being easy to move around and all of that. So kudos to Bray Wyatt for doing anything in that getup. So yeah, I can't see them spending a whole lot of time in the ring just for that mere fact.
Yep.
That's a great point, because again, I don't think this is made for wrestling. That I think is made for the shock value that we've all seen, but I don't think it's made to actually wrestle. What, I guess, Jody, and then I'll come to you, Joe. What do you think we see at the Go Home show next Monday to kind of get this thing really hyped up?
Me first?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I definitely, obviously next week is the Go Home show, so I definitely feel like we need a stipulation if there's going to be one. So there'll be some kind of stipulation. We haven't seen the Fiend do a contract signing. I wouldn't mind that at all, because we've only seen him do that the one time, and I thought it was fantastic. So, but I think we're definitely going to get some kind of stipulation to this match.
What about you, Joe?
I wonder if Randy would try to manipulate one last time his way out and basically get Alexa banned from ringside. And have her end up just not allowed to be out at the ring. And maybe that might be a stipulation, something. He's got to try to have something up his sleeve, doesn't he? Because that's just who Randy Orton is. So he's got to he kind of alluded to it a little bit, and we didn't see any kind of a confrontation with him. So in his promo tonight, he alluded to the fact that now he says he knows what he needs to do and what kind of hell he has to reach into. So now we're already getting a cage match that was announced for Shane and Braun. So I don't think it's going to be Hell in a Cell. I don't think it's going to be a cage match. But the fact that he said, I know what kind of hell I have to reach into, might be kind of a hint as to what he's going to do, or where he's going to go. Yeah, I don't know. There could be. We haven't seen Joey's Adventure saying Buried Alive. We haven't seen a Buried Alive match really since. The Taker match, right? Last year, the Boneyard match was a Buried Alive match. We just saw Fire John K, so I kind of don't think we're going to see that again. Somebody said to me actually online, a friend of mine mentioned, what would you think of like an exploding ring match, and almost like a way to poke fun at AEW as well, doing something like that and doing it better, like doing it better basically, and not having it fail. But yeah, I don't know, like how far can you go? Weapons allowed, tables allowed. I don't know what fits this feud. So, yeah, I think Jody's probably right. I think they'll wait until the last minute next week to finally announce what this is going to be. I'm kind of getting away, though, from everybody kind of thought they knew it was going to be a Funhouse match. But then we heard that Vince wanted to change stuff because he didn't like the fact that stuff got spoiled. So maybe that's not in the cards anymore. Maybe it's not going to be a Funhouse match anymore, but maybe it'll be a different style to kind of suit the characters we have now. Maybe it's a playground match. Maybe he's just going to change it to a playground match instead of a Funhouse match.
Think about this, though. Randy said he knows what he has to do to get him out of his life for good.
Mm-hmm.
Tried fire. That didn't work. What if he does something completely unexpected? I mean, because you can't fight Bray. You can't fight the Fiend in his element. You can't do a Funhouse match because that's his element. You can't do anything with fire because he's already done that. He's got to do something else, something that's out of the Fiend's element. And I don't know what's out of his element. What's out of the Fiend's element? Light?
Water.
I was just going to say that. And look, we saw Matt Hardy do that with him. Jason Voorhees had a weakness to water.
Mm-hmm.
If he's playing that role and you dunk him in water, well, but still they did him I don't know, because he came out of the water in the swamp match too. So I don't know if water is it either. But
I think that may be what Randy tries to do. Tries to put him in an element where he has the edge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Jeff Samuel saying a punt kick. I don't know, dude. Punt kicks are pretty rough, but if burning him alive isn't going to keep him down, I don't think.
No. Yeah. So I think that he'll get away from the fire. He'll get away from the Funhouse match because those are Bray's element. You got to take him out of his element.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets up from a punt kick because you don't see people do that. So maybe Randy does get that off, and maybe like you think the match is going to be over, Randy punts him, and he's just laying there, and boop, and he just pops right back up.
What if he goes after the box?
That was going to be my next question to both of you. What happened if because now we seemingly know that Alexa has given it away, that there's a lot of power in this
the box.
So what do you think about him going after this box?
But how do you get that box away from Alexa Bliss?
You have to put the Fiend in peril again.
Yeah, because she bounced right up on the ring when he got RKO'd. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You have to get him in some type of trouble where she has to make a decision to hand over the box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That'd be really cool though too. Could you imagine like he gets the box and then he tries to do something to it and a big fireball shoots up out of the box? Yeah, they could really mess around with that too. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Lava. Butterspark saying lava. Boy, Dally saying a Punjabi prison. Good Lord.
Oh. Is it possible they do a Hell in a Cell?
I don't think so.
I mean, they're already having one cage match, but that's on night one.
Right.
They can. I mean, if they're going to fit a cage in there, it's certainly possible. They could. I mean, it's absolutely possible that they could. I mean, Vince wanted the Fiend going off the top of the cage back in the first Hell in a Cell that he showed up in. So what if he does it this time? Randy throws him off the top of the cage, and then Randy goes to look for him, and he just bounces back up, kind of like he did with Seth when he bounced up when all the explosions went off, when he got thrown into the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Could be. Whatever it is, it's going to be interesting, and we only have a week to wait.
It's exciting.
Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna have to do final thoughts because it's approaching midnight, and I have to be in the morning. But again, this is something that we could talk hours about. But final thoughts. I'll start with Joe, and then Jody, you get the last word.
Week after week after week, you just see more and more and more out of this. And I made a comment today and I said, look, if you're not down with this story, then I've got 2 words for you. You all know what those 2 words are. But yeah, look, if you can't have fun with this, I really don't know what can make you have fun with wrestling. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing what comes next. I'm glad that things aren't being spoiled. I'm glad that they're not giving everything away. I'm glad that things went a little bit differently from the way that people initially may have thought. And man, I'm just looking forward to next Monday, and I'm looking forward to Mania and seeing where this all culminates, and if it does indeed culminate, if this is the end of this feud. But man, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Jodie, you get the final word.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna emulate all of that too. It's nice to be able to sink your teeth into a story that will always keep you guessing. And I got a lot, this is going to sound really weird, but I got a lot of Harry Potter vibes from tonight, thinking about, Voldemort and how he died and had to come back and used all those different elements to be able to come back and regenerated. And there's just so many different angles to this. And it's beautiful storytelling by Bray Wyatt. He's amazing at what he does. That's why we love him so much, because he just pushes you to think deeper and try to think big picture and figure out all of this and where it's going to go. And, I know that he loves stuff like this. I know that he loves hearing what people have to think and say. And, I hope that just as much as he makes us smile, we make him smile in return.
Very well said. And I'd just like to point out for the record, once again, Jodie was right. Jodie called it. So,
It's nice to be right once in a while.
Always. It's always great to be right. So you get to take your moment in the sun. So you deserve it.
There you go.
You deserve it. All right, folks, we're going to get out of here. So thank you all for joining us. Had a really good crowd for it being after 11 p.m. So thank you all. If you are new, please subscribe to our channel. And everyone that's watched this, before you go, please give us a like on this video. And listen, tomorrow night, the Insiders will be back with Impact Wrestling Watch Along. And then we'll be back Thursday. And that'll be our last show of the week. But I can tell you this. Those next couple days will be welcomed days off. Because
we're going to be exhausted.
Going to be a heck of a lot of streaming the following week.
Yes.
Lots and lots of streaming. So pray for us if you believe in that, and send positive vibes if you believe in that. Either way, we're going to need them because it's going to be crazy the following week. So
yes, it is.
Anyway, thank you all for joining. We really appreciate it. Stay safe. And we will see you hopefully tomorrow night. Take care, everybody.